Hello, Clan fans. So, we just had episode 6 of Outlander season 5, and this episode was called Better to Marry Than Burn. Yes. Just had to double check on that. Wow, this episode was really not what I expected it to be, especially after the preview. But they did cover some ground in this episode that was more Jocasta themed. And honestly, Jocasta was not my favorite character back in season 4, though she did take care of Bree in the end, so I did like her a little more. But after this episode, it really goes to show that you just cannot judge a book by its cover. And Jocasta is one of those books that you can't judge because, wow, she went through a lot and I had no idea. I honestly haven't studied the character. I haven't gotten to her part in the books yet. I never really knew what had happened. So to learn about that was really... I could honestly cry. I'm gonna try not to. Sorry, I'm touching my face. In this weird, crazy time when we're not supposed to touch our face and wash our hands almost 24/7. I honestly love that Outlander has taken me out of that for even an hour. So let's talk about the episode, which covered mostly Jocasta's wedding to Duncan Innes. I'm never going to get used to saying his name. I don't know why. But he clearly does adore her. He gives her a gift like it's the day before their wedding. He comes to her room and he gives her a gift. And he's trying to be sweet and charming to her, but clearly her mind is elsewhere. She still probably is thinking about a lot of things. And as we see in a flashback, which I will discuss later, there's just a lot on her mind. So, yeah, you see that their relationship isn't to a strong point, which maybe that will change eventually, but who is to say? So, while they're preparing, I feel like I'm saying that wrong, for the wedding, they're having a little party before the wedding, and Jamie and Claire are there. They're also there for some business because Jocasta wanted to create basically a will of sorts that Jeremiah, Bree and Roger's son, will take over the estate once she is done, or once he's come of age, I guess is how they say it. And of course Gerald Forbes is there, and we know that he is associated with Bonnet. Ugh, every time I see him on screen, this gentlemanly look he's trying to pass off, it's like, you're not fooling anybody, dude. Anyway, back to the episode. So they're celebrating, and Lord John is there. And honestly, anytime Lord John is in a scene, it's a highlight, guys. I love Lord John. He's awesome. And he's like the kindest human being, and you would not expect that in that time, especially after how he started off with Jamie and all the craziness, but he's proven to be a good friend. So that's really nice. Especially in the 18th century, you can't have enough good friends. So they're also they're also saying hello to Governor Tryon, who is there as well. Still don't like him. I don't know if I will. But his wife is there as well, and I don't think we've met her before. No, we haven't. Yeah, because they were introduced to her. And she and Claire obviously become good friends in this episode. She even tries to help her out at one point when a certain Mr. Wiley shows up. I honestly don't remember him from season 4. He was apparently in the first episode at the dinner party where we're introduced to Governor Tryon. And I'm okay with not remembering him because this guy is a weirdo. I did not like him. And I read that there was going to be an issue with him, which there was in this episode. So it turns out he has, as they say, the hots for Claire. And he's obviously wanting her attention 24/7 up until the point when they're in the stables. But before we get to that point, Claire, while she's being practically accosted by this guy, he mentions that he's in business with an Irish smuggler. And this catches Claire's attention because apparently the only Irish smuggler out there is Bonnet. But she does get it confirmed, basically. So she's trying to arrange something so they can figure out where Bonnet is. Unfortunately, by the point when they get into the stable, Mr. Wiley's attentions are basically to ravage Claire. And while she's fighting him off, Jamie thankfully comes in and he stops the guy. He threatens to kill him, which Claire points out, I don't think you want to kill a man at your aunt's wedding, which, nope, he doesn't. So he spares the guy. However, it's not over between them. He does later go to basically set up a thing where they're going to gamble. If Wiley wins, then Jamie will let him leave with his dignity and pride without telling anybody what happened. Or if Jamie wins, he gets the horse, and he also gets to keep Claire's rings, which, that was a whole thing. I had read about this part, and I always thought it was kind of, I'll admit it's a little out of place for their characters. I always thought it was kind of weird that that would happen between Jamie and Claire, especially after all that Claire went through with the rings. But clearly Jamie had high hopes that he would be the winner, which he is in the end. But up until that point, Claire gets really, really mad at him about it because Bonnet tried to steal the rings from her, and obviously Claire loves her rings. They've been with her throughout the whole time. Like, even when she wasn't with Jamie, she had his ring as a reminder of their love. When she wasn't with Frank, his ring was a reminder of their love and time together. So it has, like, serious significance for Claire. And for Jamie just to, like, set them as a bet against a man who practically, I'm not going to say the word, we'll say accosted, as I said, her. So she's just really upset about that. But then when he tries to return the rings to her later, they are arguing because she is offended that he would even put that as a high stake for a bet. But they, you know, they make up in Jamie and Claire fashion, which a lot of people are probably going to complain about this scene. I've already seen one article about it. But obviously, the love scenes are a little different than they used to be. Sometimes that's just how it happens as you get older and you have been with somebody for a long time. Things change a little bit. I'm not saying that's the case with everybody, but also you have to ask yourself, what purpose does it serve for the story? Especially when you're seeing a live action telling of it. So, just some food for thought. Anyway, they make up, and then Jamie has actually also made a meeting with Bonnet, which of course he's going by an alias. So at some point we will see how that plays out, I assume. Of course, Jamie's going to be busy with other things too, like the beginning of the Revolutionary War. I don't know why I did that in a southern accent. That's more for the Civil War, but yeah, so looks like the war is going to happen after all, guys. Who knew? So, yeah, Governor Tryon tells Jamie that because the regulators aren't not taking the pledge that he's given them of sorts, they are not at good terms, and things are going to get intense. Yep. Good old wars. So yeah, that was Jamie and Claire's story in this. Roger and Bree were dealing with their own issue at Fraser's Ridge, which they weren't at the wedding because of 2 reasons. 1, Jemmy had a little bit of a cold, and 2, Roger does not like Jocasta. And I went southern again, I don't know why. But yeah, they're at home. They suddenly have to deal with an issue, which is a bunch of locusts that are creeping up on the crops. Try saying that 5 times, creeping up on the crops. And obviously all the tenants are not happy about it. They want Roger to fix the problem, but Roger doesn't know what to do at first. Then he realizes there might be a solution that could work because there is a big swarm that is about to come. So what he does is he figures out how to make a smoke that will lure the locusts away. And it actually works. So Roger earns himself a point there. A little more respect from people of the land. So yeah, it was a little bit of a win for Roger in this episode. And Bree thinks maybe he'll get promoted to Major, which he hopes he doesn't. But yeah, that was there. It was a little bit of a quick side arc. I don't know if that played out more in the book, but it was interesting to see Roger actually kind of step up and figure out a solution. So it kind of shows that he has a little more of a purpose in that time, which is nice. So yeah, maybe they won't go back to the future quite yet. And now let's talk about... this is like... I'm sorry, I keep touching my face. This is like the saddest part in the episode. And it was hard to watch because I wanted to cry the whole time. And I was not expecting this. So, the first scene of the episode is a flashback, which I honestly didn't realize at first. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but it soon clicked when I realized it was a younger version of Jocasta, and she was traveling with her husband and daughter, and they get stopped by the dragoons, as they call them. And I believe this was like right after Culloden. They were trying to escape, and they had a little chest of the king's gold in their carriage, which unfortunately one of the dragoons does catch, and unfortunately a shooting... I'm sorry guys, it's hard to talk about this because it really was sad. There is a quarrel, and unfortunately the daughter gets caught in the crossfire and she's killed. Jocasta is devastated, and she has no choice but to leave her daughter in the mud with the strangers that tried to attack them. And she takes a hair ribbon, which is like the last remnant of her, which it was just so heartbreaking. And she still has the hair ribbon in the present, which is when we see her getting ready for her wedding the day before. So that was how that connected into her morning thoughts. And later we see that Murtagh, he actually comes to visit Jocasta, which I was not expecting at all. And I can tell you guys 100% that this was not in the books. And this is a wholly made up scene for the show. And honestly, one of the best, like, it was one of the saddest scenes. I was not expecting what we got. But what happens is Murtagh is there to give her a little wedding gift, but he's also there to declare his love for her, and he gets down on one knee and he asks her to wait for him. And Jocasta is like, I literally told you I was gonna get married, like, way back when, and now you're saying this? And he points out that even though his timing is bad, he didn't think that she would say yes, and he wants to be with her, but Jocasta is conflicted because what she tells him is the history of what happened to her family. We learn about what kind of man Hector Cameron was, who was her husband, and he was a Jacobite, and he was determined to make sure that the cause was met, and unfortunately that did lead to their daughters being put in danger, and it led to the death of the one with them. 2 of them already had families somewhere else, but they also ended up perishing in fires that broke out because of the aftermath of Culloden. So she lost so much because of Culloden, because of the cause, and she can't be with somebody that's like her husband. She can't be with somebody who's going to be determined to see a war through, a cause even, and it breaks her heart to say no to him, but she just has to because she can't go through that anymore. She says there's always going to be a war, and there's always going to be men who go to fight in the wars and fight for their causes. And just this whole scene was heartbreaking because it felt so real that she was telling him all these things, breaking down and crying in his arms, but also having to tell him to go. But he tells her that he loves her, and no matter how much the world changes, that will never change. And yeah, I just want to cry right now, guys, and I'm trying not to. But God, their love story, they've only had, guys, think about it, they've only been together for 3 episodes total, and their love story is one of the most powerful to me, honestly. Obviously Claire and Jamie are number 1 still for me, but like even more so than Roger and Bree. This is just my opinion, but just that they have this strong bond, and just a matter of 3 episodes, I believe in their love so much, even if it's not going to work out. And I don't know if they're going to be together again. This might have been the final goodbye, because I am terrified of what's going to happen to Murtagh right now. I feel like they're setting up something, and I feel this is a theory. I wonder if his death is going to be the catalyst for why Jamie officially decides to fight against the British. Like, he obviously wants to, but this might really set him off to finally make the decision to turn against them. That is my theory and my fear, which I honestly hope I'm wrong, but somebody who likes to write stories, I feel like it's a possibility. I hope not, but oh God, just Jocasta and Murtagh, they owned this episode. Just that one moment, that one scene. And yeah, that was the most intriguing for me to see, like, what their relationship could have been. And to see that it finally kind of ended in a way. But, I mean, hopefully we'll still see them again together, but this felt like a final goodbye. Not to bring anybody down further than we're already down, but sorry. And, of course, we got Bonnet, like I mentioned, which he learns that his son is now the owner of the estate. I don't like him, guys. I'm sorry, but I know people enjoy villains sometimes, but he's one of those villains that I completely despise. Just seeing him on screen pretending to dress up like a gentleman. Like, seriously, who are you fooling, dude? Hopefully he'll get his comeuppance in the end. But until then, we get to enjoy his little side scenes. And this is no offense to the actors who play these characters. Honestly, they do a great job. This is just towards the characters. Yeah. Alright, guys. It looks like we're going to go into the war a little more in the next episode. Might be the official spark of the Revolutionary War. I honestly don't know if the war starts in this season or not, because I'm not sure if it started in the book at this point, but we'll find out. There's also the possible alarming fact that the next episode could be about Roger, and I think I saw that the episode is called The Ballad of Roger Mack, which this could be the episode we are dreading. I'm not gonna go into details, but something bad could happen to him. I don't know for sure, but this is like an article that I read. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, guys. It's getting intense. One of these episodes, I will cry. I almost stayed in this one, and I'm trying to save my tears for the moments I am anticipating. But they might catch me off guard. Alright, guys, what did you think of the episode? What did you think of Jocasta and Murtagh's scene together? What did you think of Jamie and Claire's fight and makeup? It was interesting, I'll say that. And yeah, we'll see what episode 7 has in store. Alright, guys, hope you guys are doing okay during this crazy time. I know things have literally escalated since the last time I talked to you. And I truly hope there is a Claire Fraser out there figuring out a cure, or at least a treatment for the virus that is spreading. Here is hoping. Alright, guys, stay safe, and I know it's hard being quarantined, but hopefully we'll get through this soon. We at least have a few more weeks of Outlander to keep us distracted, which I am truly thankful for that. I am even wearing my Outlander themed Ruana, as they call it. Alright, guys, stay safe, and I will see you next week, and hopefully with good news, and definitely with news of Outlander. Alright, I'll see you soon. Have a good week, guys. Bye.